Welcome to another episode of the CG Show. Bridgett and Bianca Roccisano, two sisters who was voted the Young Entrepreneur of the Year for fashion and design and founded an e-commerce business, BoobyTape, in 2018, have taken the world by storm with their innovation of the world's first breast tape. The company is valued at an estimate 8 figures, and they also run 3 further businesses: a clothing label, a consulting business, and a styling business. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me. Welcome. Before we obviously get into the whole story about BoobyTape, I really want to understand your origin story. Like, how did this all come about? Was entrepreneurship just in your veins?
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having us. We're honoured to be here.
Yeah, so I feel like it is in our veins, wouldn't you say?
I think it's definitely strongly in our veins. So we come from a very business-orientated family. So both our mother and father work. Our family are in real estate. So dad runs a sales department, mum runs a property management. And they're a team. So we were the kids who grew up. Normal kids were going home after school. We were like
street kids.
Oh my God, mum's forgotten us at school again because she's at a an appraisal or something. And then we're like, quick, come back to the office and I need some help photocopying, emptying the bins,
we were filing, doing all of that stuff. And I feel like
from like the age of 5.
But even mum and dad, like dad, he's always like, you will have your own business. It was just how we were brought up. Like there was no other option. So, and even from young kids, we were always selling things, or like I was making bracelets and selling them to my friends, or always just little things like that.
I went to boarding school when I was 15, and mum bought me a wax pot to wax my eyebrows because obviously I couldn't afford to go and get them done. And before you knew it, I had the boarding school like lining up. I'm charging them $15 to wax their eyebrows. So this is from like a really young age, and then we started with eBay, and so it's kind of been a fascination with sort of making money and the process. And I think we've both had that from a very young age.
I used to write hate letters to my dad. He was a real estate agent and he used to work crazy hours, and it was just like, why don't you spend any time with me? So I definitely understand. And even for you ladies, like, why did you stay in real estate? What happened?
Well, Bianca did get into real estate, and I think
I did, and actually I love it. I think the thrill of doing a deal I still miss that. It's so exhilarating. Honestly, for me, what was tough with real estate, and I'll be very honest, was the hours. So working Saturdays, like all my friends were doing things on Saturdays, and I'm like, there has to be some type of balance of life where I can still work, but I want to have a life. Like then I started working Sundays. So then I was having 2 days off a month. And look, real estate's a tough gig, and my hat goes off to you and like anyone else who does it, because it's a tough gig.
The hours are literally ridiculous. It's probably the biggest killer about being a real estate agent, and that's why it was so amazing when you guys just like, hey, I'm going to jump on. I'm like, yes, I really want to speak to you ladies about your e-commerce business, because you guys are still working extremely hard, but at least there's still that.
We do, but sometimes it's in our PJs, like on a couch.
Yeah, exactly
right. Like my dad will, because we spent some time COVID like in the country, and my dad will get up, suited up every day, and he comes home and he goes, have you done any work today? And I said, we've been working all day.
It's like from 6 a.m, but like, we lay in bed for a bit on our emails, and we moved down to the couch when we were in Mildura, obviously.
And it's like, the old-fashioned mentality, just because you're not in a suit, you're not dressed, you're not working. And I'm like, we've actually done some serious business today, and we've dealt with 3 different time zones, and it's nuts.
We're still doing crazy things.
But he just looks and shakes his head and he goes, I wish I had your business.
So then obviously as well, what was the story about your first business? How did that all come about? And
so Bianca was, like she said, she went to boarding school, and then when I turned 18, I moved to Melbourne, and we both moved in together. Bianca decided at that point, I was starting university. She decided her long life dream was to become a lawyer. So she decided at the age of 26 to go back to school and become a lawyer, and I was just starting uni. So we both went to uni at the same time, and we're like, we don't have any money. we don't want to work. Like you were doing some work at David Jones then at that point, and we couldn't go home for Christmas holidays because when you work retail and things like that, we're like, what can we do for ourselves with no money? So a service was what we started, and $200.
We thought about what we were good at. We only had $200 together. We were legitimately broke. Because back then I was making like good money in real estate, but I was living this good life, and I didn't even think about saving money. So I quit my job and I had no money, probably actually in debt, credit card debt. So I had no money, and we said, what can we do? And we were obsessed with Rachel Zoe, who is the famous celebrity stylist in America. And we used to watch her TV show, how she'd dress people for the Oscars, and we're like, we can do this. Quite, let's give it a go. No idea what we're doing. But we just, researched, and we thought we're very honest. Bridget and I have got a business from being very honest, and with our styling business, you have to say, actually, that actually doesn't look that great on you. I think you can look better. So that's how we started a business. And then we used our networking skills, and we reached out to anyone famous we know, any athletes. We could dress their partners, and it was the first type of marketing. I think we worked a lot for free back then.
Yeah, so talk to me about that. Were you working from home, or did you have a little shop set up?
No,
or?
it was all from home and in store, really. So at the designers' shops or Chadston or wherever we went.
Yeah.
But it's funny how it all kind of works into another. Like it was literally just building a brand and PR and marketing. The amount of free work we did to get our name out there.
Actually, we should talk about the first time we made some money with Melbourne Stylists. So we thought, remember the Kudo deal?
Of course.
Yeah, so we did. So we charged, and we made up a fee. We didn't even know what we were.
Yeah, you're just like, whatever.
$100 an hour.
That was our fee. That was our fee.
So anyway, then there was those, I don't remember those coupons, Kudo coupon deals where you buy it for like $20 an hour.
Yeah.
So we had our service from $100, and they were selling it at, I think, 30, and from that
they took a cut.
We got like $13 per hour. We're like, whatever, we've got no job anyway.
So it went live.
How many did we sell?
Well, it was like 300 in the first. It wasn't long, and we're like, take it down. We're like, stop. We're like, we can't even do it. We're like calling the website. We're like, please stop. And then they eventually stopped it, and it was probably like at 380 or something. They stopped it.
So we had 380 hours, and we're like such workaholics. We're like, cool, just book me in for like 10 hours a day.
We're like,
of styling.
Chadston 9 to 9. We're gonna. And I remember it got to lunchtime, and I was like, I can't walk anymore.
Yeah, I can't.
I have to tell you,
we're like lunch break. We don't need a lunch break.
Yeah.
We're like, just keep working. We're fine.
We're hustlers.
And I was like running to the next client, grabbing a stick of sushi, like running, and it was getting those hours done. I remember the last.
It took like 6 months.
Do you remember? I remember then after that we finished the clients. Like there were repeat clients kept coming back, and I'm like, they're all yours. Take all the money. It's all yours. I was like, I can't do it again. It was like that was
because it was like it was hard. It was like being a psychologist, and it was anyway. We did those hard yards, but the good thing was that we think we did a good job, and then that was our repeat customers coming back, and they told their friend, and women who've had babies and their bodies shaped. So that's kind of where our love of fashion, which has led into something much bigger with Bianca and Bridgett.
And then in regards to how did you obviously explode it through social media? Because opening a business in 2011, the internet it had been around for a couple of years, but I think Instagram was very new. Facebook was still, it was still nowhere near what it was now.
No way.
And what was your competition like? Did that give you an edge?
I do believe we got in at a really good time with Instagram with Melbourne Stylists.
And we had a business. People didn't have their own. Like now, it's like an in thing to have a business.
Yeah.
Every second person has a business of some sort, which
Correct.
is brilliant.
Yeah.
Not knocking that. But back then, being like two young women, don't you think it was really unheard of?
It was, yeah.
And Bridgett was like 18.
I was 18 when we first started.
So it was unheard of. So it's a different world now, and I think it's become more socially acceptable. Or people have the courage. Even us, like we didn't start earlier. We're like, it's a bit daunting. It's a bit scary.
Well, the clothing label, that's something we've always wanted to do. And we kept talking about it. And then I remember our dad's like, if I hear you girls talk about this one more time, you either do it or don't do it. Don't talk about it. That's it. And then one day we just took the plunge and we're like, why didn't we do this earlier?
So when was the clothing label?
2017.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was even before BoobyTape.
Yeah.
Okay, and that was obviously the next step from doing styling.
So while we were styling, we were dressing a lot of celebrities and we were designing dresses. And what we found, the dresses that we were designing were actually taking off and they were getting replicated. But because we weren't the actual designer, even though we would design it, the designer would just stitch it together. He was getting all the
and they were selling there was like some dresses we had for example, the brown low, like they were getting. We saw like 50 of them being turned into wedding dresses, and this is like $30,000 like a pop. So we're like, okay,
people obviously like our style.
Like our style. So with Melbourne Stylists, what was brilliant, we had a little bit of like notoriety, and people knew who we were on the papers. We were in the social scenes like a lot, which was great. We built a profile. That profile wasn't making us a lot of money.
No.
So we thought, how do we leverage those followers? What do they want? All they want was, and we were posting ourselves and our lifestyle, our fashion. So that's how we then turned that into Bianca and Bridgett, we were very cautious starting the business. We designed one piece for a celebrity for the Portsea Polo.
Well, that's what had happened again. It was time to design a new piece.
Yeah.
So we're like again, why are we designing for someone else? Let's actually. Bianca's like, let's design this one because we kept talking about this fashion label. She's like, let's just kick it off with one piece because we're not into investing a lot if it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So a lot of people we know people that like, I've been working on a business for 5 years and I haven't launched it yet, or I haven't. I'm like, why haven't you launched it? Like, just do a little bit,
just
see
jump.
if it works, and then if it does, then you can get better and better and make it invest more money. So we kicked it off with the one piece, the Jessie jumpsuit, and that was worn to the Portsea Polo. Went crazy, everyone loved it. So that was like January. Then June that year, we released a full collection. And again, we started with 15 pieces, and we're like, we'll trial that again. And if that goes well, and then just season by season, we just kept going and growing.
The clothing label, that was like an expensive exercise for us at the time. So we didn't have any serious money behind us, but we took a loan out of like $100,000. And Bridget and I
which I had nightmares over. I had nightmares.
Bridget's very conservative.
Yeah, and I'm very like. She was like she'd worked in real estate, made good money. Yeah. She never saved a cent. I've like never had a good job, and I had money saved. Yeah. Like I'm like we're like the.
I had no money. Bridget had like a little bit of money.
Bianca's like, what do you mean you got money in your bank account? I'm like, yes, Bianca, I saved my money. Like.
So Bridget actually taught me how to save money.
I did.
She's phenomenal.
So you're the crazy one.
I'm the crazy one.
So when we took out, I remember when like we had the joint bank account for the Bianca and Bridgett loan. I remember when the 100,000 came in, I was like, I don't want to. I was like, take it back. Yeah. I was like, I don't want this 100,000.
So we sat down and we said, worst case, because you always have a worst case scenario. Split it 50 grand each. If we make no money, there's a total failure. It's going to take you 5 to 10 years to pay off 50 grand. 5 to 10 years, and we just pay it off. Like that's it.
And worst case, we'll learn a few things in the process.
But we were, very strategic in the way, and we made that money back within 3 weeks. So that then we reinvested again, and that's been, I think, part of our success is we reinvest.
Keep putting the money in and keep going.
Cent. We paid ourselves $150 a week for.
Do you remember when it got to 300? We thought we were rich.
Yeah.
Then 500, and we're like, now we're talking about 500 a week.
And actually, you were working. Actually, do you remember? She's like kept ringing me up every day. She's like, "Can I quit my job yet?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "I have no job. So I got to make for both of us."
So the first 6 months of Bianca and Bridgett, I was like, and then I remember one day I was like, "I'm quitting." I'm quitting. I was so excited.
And it was like probably slightly premature, but
no, it was not.
But it's always, you know what? It's always good. Take the plunge and then just keep going because, as you lady said, you kept feeding into the business, you kept making it grow, and then from there, obviously, you were making $7 at your work, and then you started making $4 here. You dropped that, and then that just exploded. Yeah. So that's insane. Would you say the e-com of selling clothing is your favorite business that you currently run, or?
Oh no, I love them both so much.
Yeah.
I've got a favourite.
Yeah, BoobyTape. Yeah, okay. BoobyTape, you know what? I think
it's so fun.
It's fun and it's cheeky, and we can. Bianca and Bridgett's more serious, conservative. Yeah. We use a specific type of model, and at BoobyTape's like real women.
But the women who interact with us from around the world, saying like we've changed their life, and these stories, like we weren't expecting that. Like women are saying, I've got saggy breasts, or.
I saw some of the photos on Instagram. Like, look at them, like that is pretty cool. Like how that works.
It actually works. It actually works. Yeah.
And like the proof is in the pudding. Like you see the one up, the one down. We actually invented that. Like no one had done that. There's probably over like 500 companies that have tried to like copy us. More. So like we invented that concept, like taping the boobs. Like it wasn't done.
I think in regards to how did it all come about? Like how did you just decide that one day this was going to be that? I don't know, just the idea that was going to change everything for women's breasts.
We were 1 year into Bianca and Bridgett, so they're exactly a year apart. Well, actually, we just started Bianca and Bridgett anyway, and I had the struggle of, I'm a natural F cup, so it's quite large and it's natural, so they don't sit like how you want them to sit in clothes.
Yet everyone thinks Bridgett has fake boobs because she has the best taper in the world.
I think that was the worst thing about when people found out the business was one. I'm like, damn it, everyone knows that my boobs they're not real, and they're just using BoobyTape, that they're real anyway. And so I always, we're very into fashion, and sometimes I want to wear low-cut things or some backless things, and I can't wear them because I have to wear a bra. Like, unless you've got a tiny bust, you have to wear a bra. And so I was going to Mitre 10, and Bianca would be strapping me up with...
Quick, we have to go to Bunnings again.
And she's strapping me up with like gaffer tape, electrical tape, like that,
And they
silver
got
tape, like, all that, I don't even know what it's called. Yeah, and the fumes are like, I'm like, this man, it's so strong. And anyway, and I'd be going to the nightclubs, I'd be going to the races, with all taped up. And at the end of the night, my skin would be ruined. And then I'm like, why don't I just Google a breast lift tape? Like, how stupid, a boob tape. So I'm sitting on the internet Googling.
No, you actually Googled breast tape. We come up with the name Booby later.
Yeah, so I'm Googling a breast tape, a boob tape, whatever. Nothing is coming up. And I'm like, I don't believe it. Like, you can't tell me I'm the only woman in the world that does this or needs it. And Bianca's
then she
like...
calls me and I'm like,
goes,
and if you're entrepreneurial, this is the biggest tip for anyone. If you want to Google something and it's not there, jackpot.
Yeah, jackpot.
Gold. That's gold.
Bianca's on Google. I reckon even my brother was on Google. He's like, it can't not exist. We're all Google. And then...
You don't have to Google that hard. Yeah,
we're like, it doesn't exist. So we were going to China back and forth a lot for Bianca and Bridgett. So in the process, we're like, you know what? Let's start looking at some tapes. And I remember too, we kind of put it off for a minute, and then we did it.
Yeah, because we were so focused and we were so consumed.
Yeah.
Bianca and Bridgett had just taken off. It was doing really well. Started getting like international recognition for that. And so when we actually started BoobyTape, this was really interesting. We didn't tell anyone that it was our company for up to 1 year.
Okay, wow.
Because we didn't want, and I'm sure if anyone who's entrepreneurial by nature, our brain goes ding, like we get a million ideas, and it's really important to channel your ideas into the ones that, like I could go start 15 businesses tomorrow, but I can't then apply myself to the business, for example, like BoobyTape, which is your major, it's like a serious business. So we didn't want people to think we were being led astray from Bianca and Bridgett. So we kept it hush hush, and we didn't sort of anticipate. We knew it would do well, of course, we were confident, we believed, but we did not think it would have
just not as quick
the global
and
reach
the
that
impact
it did.
though. Like the women that message us to this day, every day, like you just don't understand. Like you've changed everything for me. I've been able to buy a whole new wardrobe. I feel so much more confident. Like the messages that we get, it's like the nicest feeling that we could just help women feel confident within themselves and not have to get a breast lift.
I was just about to say that, and that's probably the main thing. That's what my partner said to me yesterday, and I was like, "Oh wow, okay."
$21.95 breast lift in a box. Say goodbye to your plastic surgeon.
You don't have to cut yourself open. Like, you know, it's extreme to have to do that for an outfit, or you know.
And how did you find trying to balance the two at the time? Because obviously you had a really big focus on Bianca and Bridgett, and then
Bianca and Bridgett is like, that's our prize. That was our prize possession. That was our lifetime dream. Like we invested, like we said, 100,000 into that booby tape. From a little bit of the money we were making from Bianca and Bridgett, we took 15,000 out, and we're like, that's it.
And what did we spend? $7. We had to fight
she
7.
Angry at me still. What? Are you still angry at me?
No.
Yeah, okay. Because I'm like, you gotta let this go. You gotta let it go.
This is Sister Semantics Live.
I'm like, it's time.
Spent 7 out of our $15,000 budget. $7,000 was spent on a photo shoot.
Yeah, because I'm whenever we do something, we do it. I'm like, you know, if we do something, we do it properly. Like, I don't want this brand to look like a second-rate brand. It needs to look like it's out of vogue, like a proper good photo shoot. So we spent $7,000 on this photo shoot. We had lots of models and videography and all of that stuff too. And did it work?
Yes. So then I remember, I'll never forget, we got interviewed, which was the biggest compliment ever. The Herald Sun, when things started going nuts, they wanted to interview us, and they said, "Can we just ask you about when you actually purchased the rights to BoobyTape for Australia from the US?" And we're like, I had to think about that. I said,
what?
we started this business. And they're like, what? They're like, it looks like a global company. So in our consulting, which we can talk about later, we teach you when you start a company, like you have to start a company, you have to have the dream of having the multi-million-dollar company, the big branding, and
like
it has to look like it's a global company.
Some people we see, like some people come to us with consulting, and they're like, "Oh, I've got my product shots up on my website," and they're off their iPhone, and it's like if you want to be a multi-million-dollar business, you know, you got to look like one. You got to look like one. Like I'm not buying some dodgy iPhone shots like off the internet. Like it's, you know what I mean?
100%.
The $7,000 photo shoot's what we launched with.
Bridgett, that was a tick. Tick.
It worked out all right.
And the logo, you know, all of that stuff. But
and Bridgett's a graphic designer, so she's helped with the best skill ever for an e-com is like we spend a lot of money creating content, and so that was a big help to us as well.
Yeah, it was good.
Bridgett built our websites, both of them.
So you've used your skills. How have you used your real estate skills in all this?
So I've used my real estate skills, my negotiation skills. I think dealing with China are quite okay. But I then studied to become a lawyer. So obviously then, like, between a combination of everything I'd learned as a child from my father, entrepreneur, real estate and lawyer. So I manage like all the business aspects.
Wow.
Finances, business.
Bianca's good. Like,
terms.
don't get me to write an
You
email.
ladies are a good mix.
I'm like, don't get me to write an email. It's not going to happen.
We're just banned from touching the emails.
I'll write an email and I'll be like, what do you want? Like, Bianca's like, does the whole...
Or I'm like, there is spell check, Bridget. Do you understand?
Bianca's like, there's a spelling mistake in there. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
W-A-T what?
Yeah,
Do you
so she's like takes control of that side, and I'm more like...
We're just like, how much money can I spend today? And I'm like, zero.
That's insane. And even this business, so obviously you ladies knew in your head that it was always going to work because you believed in it and you put it out there. 100%. But how did you get the consumers to believe you?
Honestly, it took off like...
Influencer marketing, I'd say we can attest that to. And the simple as I think the product works.
That's what I was going to say. The influencer marketing, that's what's helped it. But from the minute we launched it, honestly, we just never expected it to happen
but
like
it's become a really, I think the way that we promote our business. So if you ever look at our Instagram, so what we started off doing, because we come from a very fashion stylized background, we always used like cute, gorgeous, like young models, and they kind of look a bit perfect. And that's what we just had known to do. We were getting slammed when we started launching BoobyTape, saying, you're using girls with fake breasts. This is not real. And we're like, well, guys,
and the breasts were actually real. They just looked so good with BoobyTape.
Yeah, they looked so good.
Maybe you should try some and then come back to
it.
So then we said, how are we going to get content? Because with the dresses, it's easy. Girls tag you, happy to tag you. But how are girls going to tag you in your boobs? We're like, this is never going to happen. Then they started flooding in. And we're like, do we have permission to use this? And everyone's like,
Yeah, just go hard.
So we started doing real results.
We thought that was going to be our biggest problem, is getting content. But girls every day send us their boobs. Every day. They're like, thank you, look
Game
at this.
changer, life changer.
We'll be out sometimes like at restaurants
God.
or like at a bar or something, and we'll be like the bathroom girls are like, look at this. And we're like...
I'm like, okay.
We're like, they look great. And they're like, we know you're the owners, look at my boobs, thank you. And we're like... Send us a photo. Like, we can post on our Instagram.
I saw that though, like the photos that you ladies upload of the before and afters. I was looking at it yesterday. I was like, that's insane. I'm like, that's actually a really big difference.
Yeah. Well, it's simple marketing and it's simple sales strategies. Once again, real estate. How do I sell something? You need to see before and after, and this proof is in the pudding.
That's right.
The product is amazing and it's strong and it works. So.
And then how did it explode to get overseas? Like I think you're in over 35 countries.
Yeah.
I think we can thank Instagram to that. And it's really weird, within 1 week of launching, and this was we didn't even know back then we weren't good with our SEO, our retargeting.
No.
Just put it out there.
We didn't do
it was a completely organic way, the way that it grew. Like I said to Bridget, how do we have 3 stockists in Canada in a week? I said, it's just literally organic Instagram. And we had, obviously, like the other 7,000 of that budget we spent on influencers and promote, and, a little bit was for product. And then that's how we started promoting it. But then we spent 15. I remember we made 15 back. There we go. There's the next 15 on influencers. And then we made 20, and then we just keep
reinvesting everything.
Yeah.
How important is marketing? Like if you had to give it a scale.
Everything.
100 out of 10.
Everything. That's all we do. That's all. Bianca and I feel like our full-time job is like product development and marketing, PR. That's all we do.
What's some marketing tips you can give people that are listening? Like, what would you say if there was three main tips?
1 point of difference. Every company markets. Why is yours better than? Why is X better than Y? So we've got a good example of that. We've just come up with, Bridget and I pride ourselves, and people ask us, we get asked this all the time, do you have someone who does your marketing? Do you have a creative department? No. I'm like, this is our marketing.
We do everything. That's what we're...
And we love it.
Brainstorming at home. Even in the morning, we'll be like, every day it's ideas, and they might not be the best ideas, but that idea goes to another one, which then leads to something. Like 7 a.m, Bianca might be like, I thought of a box of this, and I'm like, yeah, and then that will lead to something else, and then it ends up, into the Motorola or something like that,
Yeah, we can talk about after we come up with a new
more
PR
marketing
kit.
tips. And like we say with everything, when you do something, do it properly. Like, don't do something like
actually, you know what else we can talk about, which Bridget and I would want to follow us for just this reason, so everyone should follow us. So
we'll literally link it down the bottom.
At Bridget.
At Bianca Roccisano. So we do giveaways, and we don't do these other companies do giveaways or win a pack of our product. We give away cash. We give away
anything we want. So
what do we want? We want jewelry, we did was like a Cartier love ring.
Oh, wow.
That went like
Insane.
Nuts. We had like, I don't know, it reached like 500,000 people. Yeah, so we give away the Gucci bags.
Okay.
Anything we want.
Yeah, so if you
That's a
wanna follow
massive
us,
tip.
Go and apply our products,
and
us
follow
for the
them as well to
giveaways.
win. Wow. And then
So-
how did you get all these celebrities on board? Like you had Sophie Monk, you've had the Hembros. Who was that lady? I know it's one really bad. You had someone really big the other week.
Sophia Richie?
Sophia Richie.
Yeah.
I jumped on how? Like,
It's really interesting because a lot of the celebrities, people think it's just a matter of paying them, and they will not work with you. They're
No.
very selective with who they work with.
We actually had a lot of trouble at the start because a lot of
no one knew who we were.
Yeah, when we first started Booby Tape, no one knew who we were, and a lot of celebrities, influencers didn't want to post that they were actually using a tape for their breasts. Like, you know, they don't want to.
Why is that?
They want
Because
their,
they want to think they're naturally gifted.
Yeah.
You know, but they
okay.
all have so many celebrities we can't name that have used our products, but they don't want to acknowledge it, and that's cool. It's totally like a
Yeah.
personal thing, but that is one of the struggles we have with our business. It's not like the dresses where they're happy to tag.
Even just with everyday women, that's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Women want to,
Wow,
they don't
okay.
want to, a lot of women don't want to say that they've received some assistance with their cleavage looking great.
Okay.
yeah, they just want to look like it's natural.
Yeah.
It's their own bust, which is fair enough. I wanted that too, but
Yeah.
then I had to start a business. So I was like, I guess I better spill the beans on my secret. And,
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm like, where were we going?
With the celebrities, how'd you get them
Oh,
on
yeah.
board? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so
Were they
obviously you just reach out, you email, like a lot of the big ones, like, so Sophia was actually, so we were doing we did a launch, I remember I said we announced that we owned Booby Tape after 1 year, we didn't tell anyone that it was ours. We did a huge launch in Los Angeles.
I saw that.
Oh, you saw that?
Yes, I
Great.
saw that as well. I was like, that is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
How did that? Why?
That's marketing probably, that was at its best lesson for us. Cause,
And that party cost us $250,000, and that
I
at
was
the
just about to say that
Yeah,
would
so
have
that
cost
was
some
our
money.
next-
Were we
so-
sweating?
Can you imagine talking to our Italian dad? You're spending $250,000 on a party? He goes, you girls are on drugs. He goes, you're crazy.
He was like, you're insane.
And then we had anxiety. We're like, what
Yeah,
the F
I'm
are
like-
we doing?
Yeah, like,
I'm
what are
like,
we
we've got to
doing
block
here?
him out. And I was like, because Bianca, I feel like you need a lot of reassurance. So, like, you ask dad or you ask mum, and I'm like, stop asking them. They don't get
They're
it.
just
I'm
going to
like,
shut you down.
really-
I'm like, stop it.
I really respect what my
Yeah,
dad has
yeah.
done, and I'm
Yeah.
like, and Bridget's like, stop
different
asking.
Yeah,
worlds,
just-
though, different worlds.
100%.
Like, you
I
know?
agree.
And
I agree.
Very different.
Yeah, my
But,
father's the same.
yeah, so I think after that too, that's when we had a lot of celebrities kind of start to come to us, because it did take a while to break that market. Then more people wanted to work with us. So we paid. So Tammy was there, Stacy was there, Kylie Jenner's best friend.
Tana Mongo,
Mongo,
Heidi from the Hills,
Heidi
and like
Mongo.
300 other influencers.
And again, saying how we do things, like what we would want to do. Whenever we threw an event, and I'm like, we're having an event. Like, it just can't be like, oh, come have a party.
we
Like,
need our events are entertainment. If you ever get invited.
So we had this shimmer station with like a swing set up, like a Booby Tape swing, and then we had a piñata, and we're like, what would we want?
We're not putting lollies in a piñata.
Yeah, we're like, we don't want lollies. Like, we want cash. So we filled
Yeah.
the piñata with cash. So we had, Tammy,
for like a couple of $1,000s of singles in there, and it was
Yeah.
raining like American dollars.
Yeah, so
Like,
Tammy and
crazy.
Tana smashed the piñata,
Yeah.
and the whole dance floor was like raining money. It was like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to do another event in London March. So this time
we
last
should say
year.
based on that event. So like
So based on that event, so literally it
that
took
did so well.
10 days, the event was paid off. That's how long it took to reoccur
Wow.
with online sales.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow.
Plus we had like
Why was that? Like, what was the reason?
Well, I just think the reach-
So did the influencers?
Yeah,
they obviously
the posting,
Yeah,
and
the
then
posting.
we had on our Instagram, like you can see how many people had looked at our
Yeah.
page
Oh,
in
yeah.
7 days. It was like 855,000.
You're
I think
kidding.
it was more.
It was
like-
close, whatever it was, just
Yeah.
under $1 million.
You're
it was a million, around
kidding.
a million, yeah.
So
Wow.
that had then we'd had major.
Oh,
interest
definitely
from-
worth it for 250,000. Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we paid it off in 10 days. So as long as
Yeah.
our bills are paid off, and even if we make zero money,
Even
That's
for
good.
even for a brand,
brand
like,
awareness.
yeah, brand
Brand
awareness.
So I
awareness.
just
Definitely.
think the reach, because we had those few big ones, but then everyone else there was influential on some type of level.
Yeah.
So the reach was, we had over 100 press articles, like well over. I don't even.
Yeah.
It was so many.
like we had some of like the Married at First Sight girls in Australia who are like newer celebrities here, but they're still newsworthy,
Yeah.
and the paps love them. So we brought them over. And it's all just strategic and articles
Definitely.
and planning and...
Also, then based on that event, we wanted to do one in the UK to kick off because we were doing some big deals in the UK. And we wanted to kick off a party there, and we're like, okay, we spent 250, which that was, again, from the 100,000, that was the next biggest investment we had made, which made me sick for a few days. But anyway...
So this one, naturally, we had to make ourselves sick.
So this one was like, this party that we were doing that got cancelled due to COVID was 700,000. That's what we were spending. So we upped, I know.
Wow.
This is where it gets interesting.
Wow.
Hold on.
I think at this point I was like, whatever. I was like, you know what? Just spend the money. I'm done with it. Like, anyway, so
Mind you, we fund everything. We have no investors. We're super proud.
No, it's all
Everything
just reinvested.
Just bootstrapping literally everything. Well done.
So the celebrities got bigger, the guest list got bigger. So it was 500 people. It was in a ballroom in Mayfair in London. It was, so Sophia Richie was flying over for it. Nikita Dragon was flying over for it. And it got cancelled 10 days out because of COVID.
Because of COVID, literally. And then what happened, like, in regards to everything that you'd organised and the money that you had to put down?
A lot of
and
things.
Like
So again, this was on another level. Like, we had a pink, like, inside the ballroom, we had like a pink caravan
that you'd all
inside.
organised.
We had pink booths, pink DJ sets, pink, like, everything was custom built. So it was all built and paid for.
We took a hit for that.
We did take a hit for that. That was a massive hit for COVID. And
but like, for example, the Sophia Richie deals, like, that was like, these were deals done from like back then.
and paid for all the deals with Sophia Richie. So that's why now we're using her. So she's doing other things for us.
Yeah.
So that's still all right, regardless.
Yeah, it's
okay.
fine, but it's disappointing because we could have had that reach a year ago.
Yeah.
And now we've had to just, COVID hit everyone like really hard because, women weren't going out, not taping their boobs. So we can talk about, actually, that's a good time to talk about when we then started what we did in COVID. What did we do in March, Bridget?
Yeah.
So how was COVID?
So well, Bianca and Bridgett really good, thank God for that. But booby tape, it did plateau because girls weren't going out. They're not taping their boobs for events. So we thought, what are we going to do to get ourselves through this time, or if this keeps happening for 5 years or whatnot. So we always wanted to do it, but we never had the time. So when COVID hit, we had free time. We weren't traveling. We started Booby Tape Skin, and that's how that came about. So an at-home product. And we've always, from when we started the business, we said eventually we want to be your one-stop shop for all things for your décolletage and bust area, like the boob specialists.
That is literally how I found you, ladies. I've actually got it here. So anyone that's watching, here it is. This is probably the most amazing packaging that I've ever seen. Like, when this literally came in and I saw the Motorola flip top, and it's that.
Hello, Moto.
Yeah, I was just like, this is crazy.
Thank you.
So, like, why? Why did you go so crazy? And I'm sure you'd probably have some really, I don't know, do you have issues trying to like lug this around the world, like with?
We got a container of these, of them.
Yeah,
This was our biggest PR shipment ever. So the Motorola phone was Bridget and I, it was our like first phones, and we just absolutely loved it. And like the early 2000s, late 90s is in at the moment, fashion-wise. So like we said, with your marketing, you need, influencers, they get 20 to 50 PR boxes a day. Why are they going to open yours? Why is it different? So that's what we really pride ourselves, and we're always trying to find that different.
And I've never seen it before either.
Never.
No.
I don't think I've ever seen this.
But that's what we say. We say anything we want to
It
do.
got my attention.
Anything if it's like what we say back to the marketing tips. If you want to be average, you're going to be average. If you want to stand out, you need to be different. So we're like, what's going to actually grab people's attention? And this phone was like hot stuff. Like, I had it in silver and black and pink. I had like growing up, I just like that was like the best phone ever. So we were like, what is? We
even had, do you know BB Rexha? Like she's like a massive artist, like 12 million
I'm
followers.
really bad when it comes to celebrities and things like that.
That's okay. She's a huge pop star right now, and she's not paid. Like, she was sent a phone. Like, she posted, and like so many
Golden Barbie post. So many people posted it. Yeah. So we've got
something really exciting. By the time this podcast comes out, we can probably talk about it. Nikita Dragon, who's one of the biggest influencers in the world at the moment.
Wow.
Like, she's doing some work with us.
I
So
know
it's
her.
all very, very, very exciting.
What is the product? Like, so for anybody that doesn't
We can
know.
open it. Let's
definitely.
open it.
Let's actually run through it.
And you have to smell it. Have you smelt it,
No.
Christian? Oh my
No.
God. Grab our firming lotion
Okay, is that this one?
Yep.
Okay.
and have a smell. And I know you're male, but I hope you still can appreciate the
What do I do? Rub it in?
Yeah, rub it in.
Yeah, I've got.
Have you ever used a moisturizer?
No, never in my life.
You might grow some boobies.
Oh my. Oh my God, it actually smells amazing.
Yeah, so it's
really
like
nice,
a candy,
isn't it? Oh my
bubble
God.
gum.
That is insane. So, okay. So
So
this is
when-
for, I'm guessing,
So that's a
yeah.
firming lotion, so it reduces the cellulite,
want
stretch
that, Bridge?
marks.
Because again, I don't think after I saw this, I started asking people, has anyone ever come across a product like this? And
No, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist, does it?
No.
So that's what. So we're like,
We like a
everyone
world
looks
first.
after the face, but they forget about the rest.
Yeah.
And you can really tell here if someone's aging, or so we're like, you need to look after it. So this is a Himalayan salt scrub.
And it's all made in Australia, vegan,
It's a scrub, so
cruelty
you're supposed to
free.
have- but you can just try the texture of it. Just try like a
Just
ton.
like just chuck it up.
It's probably a bit,
Rub it in
that's
as well?
probably a bit
Yeah.
too much. Yeah.
So that's
it's like
made from a
scrub.
Himalayan salt.
So you use that in the shower and.
Okay, wow.
And we've thoroughly researched everything. We're not going to give any of our consumers anything that Bridget and I would not wear ourselves. I know I'm biased, but I've never used a skincare regime like this. I've literally gone through tubs and tubs already.
And then what do? Do we just...
That's a makeup remover pad. Or
Okay.
you can,
So
you
that's,
can
you can use that for the face.
Oh, smell that. Don't tell
Yeah.
me you don't love it.
It's actually incredible.
Yeah, no.
That is actually...
You want to eat it, right?
Yeah.
Or is that just me?
I'm thinking with marketing, because I can't
Well, I'm gonna
market
start
a
using it,
smell.
I
Yeah,
reckon.
please do use
So
it.
I'm thinking, I didn't even tell Bridget this idea, but I want to do like a video of people like talking about the smell, because how do I describe a scent through Instagram? Because the smell is phenomenal. So
I'm no expert, as you can tell. I didn't even know how to rub it in. But in regards to I don't know, like the smell and things, is that a point of difference, or is that just
I
something?
guess it all is. It's all a point of difference, really. Just standing out in what you do. If you want to put something on your body, you want to feel and have that smell. So that's 24 karat gold.
What's this?
They're 24 karat gold breast masks. So
you
you
put them on your boobies to hydrate.
How do we
And this
do
has
that?
got hydrolyzed
Oh, I don't
collagen.
wanna, I told my partner she can't use it because I'm getting you guys
Oh,
in
that's
first,
so
and I wanted
funny.
to run through it. So I don't know if
So cute.
if I open it, do I ruin it?
No. We'll
yeah,
get-
well, yeah, you can't
I think we
use
know
it.
someone
that's
to
all.
get
I'm
you
just gonna
some
leave
more.
it.
I'm like, you can't
I'm-
use it. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm just gonna leave it. Me, it's just gonna go to waste,
And
and we
it's a
don't
bit,
want to.
it's a bit wet. You might.
Yeah,
I don't know.
okay, maybe not.
But yeah, it's hydrolyzed
Maybe
collagen,
not.
so it absorbs straight into the boobs, and it's just really. And you know what else we want to promote as well? Breast health. So the whole point of using our products as well is, as women need to check and feel for lumps like on their boobs. So
Yeah.
whilst you're applying your moisturizer, have a feel and know your body, and really always just be aware for any changes in your breasts, and obviously see a physician if you think there's anything abnormal.
That's really good. And in regards to obviously, well, the box is bloody insane. But in regards to trying to get this out in social media, for me, as I said, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. And how are women responding to this? Is this something where they're like, we need this? Oh my God, how have we never had this? Or
Yeah,
It's been an overwhelming
Yeah, it's been really
response.
good.
Because Bridget and I, like I said, we think it's cool, but until you put it to the market,
Yeah.
you don't really know. And
course.
Sophia Richie posted the cutest, what was the best PR pack she's ever received, and that's generally the feedback that's been coming back from the influencers, that everyone's kind of blown away with this kit.
I love
so it's been phenomenal, and an Australian company actually made these for us. Which they were amazing to deal with. So that's why we could specifically say what we wanted. And then it was made in China, but it's actually a company here.
And what was obviously the idea of the 90s, but just the Motorola, do you remember that moment where you're just that is it, this is what we're going for?
I don't know, I
or
feel
did it
like-
just was it just, I don't know, you kind of broke
Bridget?
it down and just kind of came up with it in a sense?
Well, I remember we were in Mildura thinking about our PR kit, and Bianca had a cool idea. You wanted to do a clear box type of thing, and I was like, that's cool. I'm like, we need something more and I'm like, the 90s is so in, this and that. And I'm like, imagine a phone that opened up and had all your products in there. And you were a bit like, how are we
Honestly, I didn't think we could
Yeah.
pull it off, because unless it's going to be amazing, I
I
said,
Oh,
as
you're
if,
the optimist.
No, I didn't want to be rude, but it was all me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
I'll give Bridget, the phone was Bridget's
the
idea.
phone was all me, guys.
Because I said, I'm not going to deliver a product. It better look dope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I don't think she thought it could come. And honestly,
And I was not expecting this level. This is an A-grade box.
When we
It's
told
phenomenal.
we told the company, I was thinking, when they got us a sample, I was like, it's going to be some flimsy shoebox looking thing. I was like, this is what I meant. I'm like, this is.
You're
I could
holding it
never.
up. Yes!
I honestly could never imagine it to have turned out like that. It's such a I'm keeping one of these forever. That's just the coolest
So it's
box.
big thanks to New Directions
Yeah.
Design in Sydney for making them for us. They are phenomenal. Honestly, they were inundated. Their phone off the chain with, he said, Bianca, I'm like the owner of the company. He goes, I can't even get my staff to answer because there's so many people going, we need the boxes, we need boxes. So yeah, they're really an amazing company, and it's a beautiful product. Really
credit
happy.
to them and credit to you guys. And
Yeah.
talk to me, Kim Kardashian.
Oh,
Copy.
KK.
Yes. I
now
saw
KK,
this. I'm like,
Bridget's
I really
favourite
need
topic.
to. Yeah, I need to dive into this.
Can I swear or not? No, I'm
Swear, just do whatever you want.
It's been hard for me not to swear up to this point.
What can we say? She copied our business.
Woke up one morning and
Yeah.
I woke up, so Bianca was in Hong Kong, so she was 3 hours behind. So I woke up 6 a.m. to my phone like, rah, 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 and I was like, what is going on? I've never, ever seen so many messages. I've never seen...
Bridget thought someone
I
died.
did. I thought someone died. I thought my phone was flooded. And then I opened it, my Instagram, it was strangers. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for your business. And I was like...
Good luck, your business coming back from this.
Yeah,
Oh.
you're over. You're like strangers. And I was like...
How does it feel to be
But I,
beaten by Kim?
but I didn't even know what happened. I was like, what has happened? I was like, what has happened? Anyway, and then, straight away I find out that Kim Kardashian's fully ripped off our business. And like,
I've been working on it for years.
Yeah.
And you're like,
And so how it started was Bianca and I
Do
actually...
we have the photo that we sent her?
Yeah, I have it on my phone. But we actually sent 5 kits out to like Chris, Kim, Courtney, Chloe, Kylie, Kendall, all the 6.
all
We
of
sent
them.
we sent the whole kits, these beautiful Jeff Leatham flowers with booby tape inside the flowers.
About $1,000 each set of flowers. for
Each flower,
sister.
each sister, because the aim was we were going to work with them.
100%.
Anyway, so and then Courtney posted them on her Instagram, so they all received them and whatnot. And then about 6 months later, Kim comes out with her own tape. And what for me, like where it got me is, it's like, listen, everyone has the right to do whatever they want to do, but you're Kim Kardashian, and she literally ripped us off. And when she spoke, it's as though she was speaking through me. So we had done a lot of, like, we were on the morning show and tonight, and we had done a lot of interviews. And it's like she had listened to all of our interviews
And just
and
replicated.
Yeah, and so when she was speaking, she'd go, you just hold your breast in the desired position.
Place your breast.
And I was like, that's my words.
That's
like
me.
everything she was saying was our words. And then what also like was really upsetting, it's like, you're Kim Kardashian, and why do you have to go to these levels? She's like, so we were the only one on the market, then she had copied us, and she's like, my tape compared to the other company that's out there is a lot more
on her
stretchier.
Instagram.
Or
No.
my tape, it's a lot more, and it's better.
And she
it's-
kept
and I'm
comparing-
like, shut
No,
up.
no, she
I was like,
didn't.
Yeah, no, she
I was
did.
like, shut
Oh,
up.
so she kind of brought you ladies up, like the brand.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
there is no, we were the
Yeah.
main.
We
There's
are
lots
the
of
original.
replica companies, but we are sort of the original and the first. So she must have been referring to us, I'd say almost definitely. But we
Yeah.
knew sending her that
Wow.
kit, we knew she was going to either want to reach out and work with us, or she's going to do her own.
But we're
and
also-
Kim's been,
But after we calmed down, because I was like pretty hysterical, and she was, I'm like, give her.
any day I knew this was coming. I was
called
ready
Bianca,
for it.
waited till 6 a.m. It was like 3 a.m. when I had woken up her time, and I was like, just let her sleep. As soon as I could talk to her, and I was like hysterical, Bianca's like, you were pretty good. You were good. I was pretty hysterical.
I was expecting it.
No, I was just hurt. When you put your pride and all your money and everything into something, and then you have someone rip it off like that, it was just I was hurt.
Well, number one, it hurts if someone else, and then it's like Kim Kardashian, and you just.
Yeah.
Like,
But you know
oh,
what?
well,
I think we spun it around, and I said, we're incredibly flattered.
Yeah.
100%.
So flattered. And do you know what
100%.
she did? Thank you so much, Kim, because you brought so much awareness to what BoobyTape
Definitely.
is.
Bloody
and our
oath.
sales went even more through
Yeah,
the roof.
110%.
Yeah, so
Like,
that day,
So-
my phone, I was like, I remember I went to my cousin's house because she was away. I was like, where do I go? I went to my cousin's and I was like, I'm going to smash my phone because everyone, strangers, like, and rude messages too. Like, it's like people like to see something
Remember we
like
went
this
to that
happen.
wedding in Mildura?
Oh, yeah, we went to this wedding
and
back
these
at our hometown.
18-year-old boys.
It was probably like a couple of weeks after Kim Kardashian. We were just standing out
Don't
the
know
front.
them.
Yeah.
Don't know them. We were just standing out the front and one of them yells out, your business is over, Kim's ruined you. And I was like, what'd you say, you little shit? I was like, I'm going to get you. Like, die. I was like, I was still so angry. I was like, but strangers were like abusing us. I was like, what's going on? Anyway, so that day I was sitting on the couch. I was at my cousin's house that night, like hysterical. And our sales were through the roof.
And you're just sitting there like, oh.
I was like crying, happy, crying. I was like, sales, and I was
we'll take
she
it.
brought more awareness to us because people.
Definitely.
And then we had like front page of the Herald Sun. I had all press because I do a lot of the PR. I'm like, ready, let's go, let's do the story. She's like, we're not doing it. She was like,
nah, I want to pretend it never happened. I'm like, don't know.
Like I had so much press. Everyone wanted to talk about like the underdogs, like us, and I thought it'd be really good.
That's the one thing. So we normally agree on everything. We're pretty
we didn't
good.
agree on this.
This is the one thing we didn't agree on. I didn't let her do all the prayer.
I'm like, I've got the Herald Sun front page ready to go.
Nah, I didn't let her do it.
And then
Why,
I said,
though?
yeah.
I just didn't. I'm like, let her be. Let her like, I don't know. I just didn't. I just wanted to ignore it. I wanted to pretend like it didn't happen. And we're doing us. Let her do her.
I think what, I'm going to say this. Bridget, I think, was very hurt because Bridget is a big Kardashian fan.
Yeah, I am.
And she's looked up and
I was.
and I think she's like to even think that they even know who.
I was
what our
deeply
product
hurt.
is.
It's like I'd been cheated on by my boyfriend. That's how I felt. Like it was really like I was traumatized.
Yeah,
And then I remember those stupid Uber Eats ad, those Schnitzburger.
Yeah.
And that was the time they were on the TV. I was like, turn the TV off.
You grabbed just threw it at the table.
Yeah, I was so angry at Kim for so long. I'm all right now.
No, you know what? Now, like we're both professional women. We wish everyone the best, and there's enough room. Anyone wants to go start it, like that's fine. We'd encourage you to have your own originality, but like that's fine.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, she obviously saw your idea, and it's that amazing, and it puts you even more on the map. And as you said, it's exploding, and you're still here, and you're still smashing it.
And
so
hers sold out too because she's Kim Kardashian. So where did the sales? No one could buy anything.
Yeah.
So they got redirected to our website.
that's crazy. And then obviously now there are so many more companies coming out.
There's literally
thousands.
We should go on like.
There's probably
let's have a little search.
Thousands. I don't even want to just. I remember at the start I used to sit there and I'd be like, because their logos would be the same, everything, they'd be using our photos, and I used to sit there and message them all, remove them, and I don't even look. Like, if you're going to spend too much time looking left and right, you're going to lose focus on your business. I'm like, you know what? Everyone do you, we're doing us, and we just keep moving forward. You can't.
BoobyTape Mexico, BoobyTape.ae, BoobyTape DXB, BoobyTape DE, Dutchland,
how can that
Nigeria.
Thousands. It's thousands.
There's thousands.
But but when you say booby tape, like how do you use the name? Because they're just adding on, for example.
Well, the thing is, like anyone can use it, and we've got it trademarked.
Yeah.
But how do you enforce a trademark, Christian? You have to go and physically sue everyone. So we started doing that.
Yeah, that's what I said at the
That
start.
become an expensive exercise.
it's just-
And I'm like,
So-
you know what? I have no interest. Instead of spending thousands there, I can spend thousands on more influencers, on more this and that. And we're just, like I said, we're not looking left or right. We're focusing on us and just looking forward.
And we do a lot of like research and training for our own like development and learning. And we look up to a lot Sarah Blakely, who's the owner of Spanx, and she's like one of the first female billionaires. And she did a big lesson on like patents versus like trademarking and the important. I don't want to get all technical for you, but
I'm
it's
interested.
just important to sometimes stop worrying on the legalities and focus that money on investing it on your business and growing your business. So that's what we're doing
being
now.
hundreds of thousands of dollars if you start, and I think last year, like
We've
our bills
spent
were
hundreds.
our bills were at hundreds of
Hundreds of
like, you
thousands
know
of
what?
dollars.
Imagine we invested that all on,
and it's making you sick, and you just
It's not worth
We've got a
it.
lawsuit at
Yeah.
the moment. Should we talk about that? We've got someone.
We've got how many
I can't get over it. I've got 7 lawsuits at the moment for just trademark issues. Someone is suing us from Germany. She's got the name Bianca in her clothing label, and she doesn't want us to be able to trademark Bianca and Bridgett.
Wow.
Because she's not even remotely the same. It's a very small business compared to ours, and it's
completely different clothing. It's like really like casual and like bohemian. It's like nothing similar.
yeah.
But
So
just
this
because
has
we've got
been
the name Bianca, maybe I should kick you out.
yeah.
Just because she's got the name Bianca and we've got the name Bianca both in our names, like hers is longer as well, and it's just like.
And she's had poor legal advice. Like some lawyers want to take advantage. They're like, take it all the way.
Anyway,
Like
we're going to court.
And
Yeah,
you're
that's
just
1st of
like,
April,
you're
so
not going to
1st
win.
of
You don't have a case.
It's just crazy.
You need to prove that there's confusion between the two brands, and there's not. One's high-end formal wear and one's low-end casual wear, and the names are totally different. So this is just an example. People think having a business is easy. I'm like, there are many expenses that come with it, and Bridget and I have
And you
been
have
through a lot.
to be tough. Like, there's some days where I actually like want to throw up. Like I'm just like, but you got to keep moving and you've got to be strong.
Well,
Like today.
Yeah.
Yeah, today was one of those days.
We're like, are we going to come to this
Yeah, I was
podcast?
this close to calling you. I was this close.
I said, you know
And I'm
what?
like-
We're professional. It's because we've had some things happen overseas overnight, which has been very displeasing, stressful. And that's what happens when you have a global company. It's, and you wake up and that's the first thing we do is check the emails. And it's like, what has gone on overnight to ruin my day today.
And when you got so many businesses that are just running all simultaneously, there's a million things going on. You got a team that you got to deal with. There's just always millions of things. And how COVID, that would have been huge. Obviously, you've launched this, but
the party was the biggest hit at the start. Because it was 10 days out. We were flying out like the Saturday, and I think we cancelled like the Thursday. Like we were like, we're getting on this flight, are we not? And then they were talking. It was just the start. Like it was the start of March, and the party was like, the 18th.
Like put it this way, we had about $50,000 of airfares booked. That's how many people we were flying over. Yeah. Everywhere. We had another 50,000 of accommodation. Like it was. This was big for us. Because all the celebrities
we have to host, we have to put them up at the hotel,
and then they want to bring a manager, and then they want to bring a makeup artist, and they want to bring their gay best friend.
They want to bring the dog.
And they only stay in penthouses.
Welcome.
And we're just like, sure.
Yeah,
no problem.
And 5-star, of course. And I need a show pass to the airport
But I like,
anything else.
We manage.
Like I said, the money thing.
I'm like, Bridgett, you're flying economy.
The money thing used to be an issue for me. Now I'm just like, just add another 500,000.
Just add it on top.
It's all good. I'm like, we'll sort it out somehow. We'll figure it out. I'm like, gosh.
But even how about the consulting? Because e-commerce during this time flew.
God, it's like the only business I just feel so safe. It's so nice having an e-com business. With COVID, I feel like anyone in hospitality, my heart breaks for them, what they've been through this year.
Yeah,
even through horrific. What happened with Valentine's Day, they got shut down.
That was like the icing on the cake.
Yeah, I was like, come on.
That didn't need to happen. Anyway, it's just another
I'm not going to say too much because I won't get political.
No,
but if only we took...
Don't get into that.
Bianca's very opinionated. So just quiet.
We took a leaf out of...
That's the next podcast, just an hour of that.
If we took a leaf out of Gladys's book, we'd all be okay.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Anyway, so what were we talking about?
The consulting business.
The consulting business. I'm not talking about Gladys, I'm talking about Dan.
Yeah, okay. I didn't say his name. Consulting is going really well. So we've been in this because people are like, oh my God, you have another business. I said, no, this is not a retire business. This is a lot of people message us for advice, and the service is there if you need it.
Yeah.
So our Instagrams used to get inundated with, and they still do, with questions, and can you just tell me, or where can I get boxes, or where can I do this, or questions. And I'm like, and we're replying, we try to be nice to everyone, but I'm like, and we've learnt lessons the hard way. It's been expensive ways. Like this is 10 years of knowledge that we've built up, and we're like,
there's a mistake to have made, we've made it.
Yeah.
She's made it. No, I'm joking. We're a team. We do everything together. Anyway,
gonna kill her after this.
I'm just like roast Bianca today. No, I'm just joking. Anyway, we've learnt lessons, the easy way, the hard way, both ways. Some works out, some doesn't. And so we're just like, what, if you would like to speak to us, an hour of our time, we charge $1,000. And what we smash out in that time.
If we could have paid $1,000
we wish.
to receive clothing manufacturers, box manufacturers, how to market digitally your company, how to pick the right brand name from the start. That is, I'm telling you, the best investment you can make in your business.
110%. You made the mistakes.
And we
Yeah, so now you've obviously built a crazy business, and then you're giving out the answers at $1,000, but it's worth it.
It's very interesting because I'm always do this. I analyze people and how they're going. And some people go, oh my God, it's so expensive. No thanks, I'll pass. I'm like, that's okay, no worries. And then some people are like, oh my God, thank you. How can I sign up? I have this many because we have this whole process and questions, and I want to learn. And I'm like, you know what? You're going somewhere. Because Bridgett and I constantly, we always learn off people who have achieved more than what you have.
110%.
You can't learn off someone people try to give us advice that haven't really. We're like, okay, thanks. But the ones we've got friends.
She's rude.
What?
She's just honest.
She's so honest.
She's too honest. Sometimes I'm like, you could just be nice. Don't always say.
Well, she's smiling and she's listening.
Yeah, no, but
nodding her head. Thank you.
But it is true. We've always been taught, learn from people who have done better than you, because you can learn from that.
We look up to a good friend of ours, Sean Wilson from Bondi Sands.
Yes.
Bondi Sands, hello, absolutely killing it. Am I going to go to him for advice? Sure. Why? Because tried, tested, succeeded. So do you know what I mean? You always go to people who that's go-to for us. Always go to people who are doing better than you, and associate yourself as well. We now associate ourselves with another girlfriend of ours, like Alison Egan from Sparkling White Smile, and all of our friends are like in the same position,
Just
different
like-minded
businesses.
people. It's like-minded people.
Interested in the same things.
Yeah.
And like in COVID, I'm like, Alison, how much money did you lose today? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people get it.
Yeah.
So and that's been really, I think, positive for us. And
We surround yourself in that circle.
Yeah.
It's you want to aspire to keep growing all together
Correct.
Yeah.
rather than feed yourself with toxic people and
That's
or
right.
people that are don't aspire to be
know
big,
what?
and it
People-
holds a lot of people back.
People that have too much time, I'm like, seriously.
yeah,
I'm
time
like,
is not a luxury we
don't
have.
have that time to talk about that or to, I don't even know where your mind's going.
Yeah.
It's like,
By the way, this podcast is the best thing we could have done today. 'Cause I'm in the happiest mood.
No, because Bianca's like, can you, because we were pretty, like, we had a bad
I was
morning.
not on my
And,
train of thought
and I'm like,
today.
trust me, I'm like, you need to keep going. We need to keep going. Just get on with the day. We can't let what happened this morning detract us, and let's just keep moving forward. And
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having
we were
us.
really excited to be here, but we were just.
And we love, in case you can't tell, we're very passionate about what we do, and we absolutely love it. That's why if you come to a consulting session, you get the vibe, the energy. If not, everyone apparently leaves motivated, inspired, because we genuinely love what we do, and our work doesn't feel like work. Everyone's like, oh, you work a lot. I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't really feel like it.
No, it doesn't when it's your own, and when you're so passionate.
When you
about
enjoy
it
it and you love it, and
When I was a lawyer, let me tell you, it felt like work.
Yeah.
I'm like, can I eat yet? I'm like, is it 12 o'clock? Now I'm like, shit, I've got to eat. It's 3 o'clock. I haven't eaten, like it's just different.
But good on you, ladies, because some people, like, they get stuck in that job for the 20, 25, 30 years.
We
and
just want to be happy.
Yeah, and they
that's why
never-
life is short.
100%.
Yeah.
They never get out.
Yeah.
What's some advice you can give people looking to start an e-commerce business?
Take a consulting session.
I was just about to say, number one, call you
Bianca and
ladies,
Bridgett.
110%.
So one of the best pieces of advice that I've learned as well, and I know like Mark Zuckerberg, I listen to a lot of his like podcasts, believes in this: don't be a perfectionist. Being a perfectionist, which I'm definitely not. So they can say like paralysis by analysis. So some people are like, I'm not starting a business until I have a business plan, and then I have to do this, and you're 2 years into the process.
That's what I was saying before.
Yeah.
How we know people that are like, I'm 5 years into my and I'm like, have you launched?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, just like I said, we started with one piece. Like, just get something out there, see if it works.
Supply and demand. Is there a field? Do people want it? And then, so don't worry. And then like Mark Zuckerberg did this podcast, and he said, if you've launched a product and it's 100% perfect the first time, you spend too much time on it. Do it. Improve.
Yeah.
How about even just putting, for example, your pieces out there or anything out there? You might like something, you might hate something. What are the discussions going on? Do you both need to agree to put it out there?
Yeah.
Or-
We do. Like, no, sometimes we just
We do need to agree to put it
Oh,
out there.
yeah, of course. But you know what?
No, but
honestly,
sometimes you're like, okay, you know what? You might love it, and I'll go with
yeah,
what
well,
you
the
think.
billboard thing just
The
happened.
billboard, yeah.
The billboard thing. It's
Yeah.
been a thing. Anyway. No, listen, we are very lucky. I don't recommend business partners personally. We are a very rare, I don't recommend it. Like we're
No, it's incredibly tough.
No, but we're rare, and we do agree, and we fight, but we get on with it, and we're fine. But we
know that
know,
we
yeah.
are the same person. So, for
Yeah.
example, Bridgett felt ill last year when she said the Kim K thing happened. I was in Hong Kong I had to do some business in like Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Macau, Hong Kong, and China. And she couldn't make it. So she knew that she goes, you go. She goes, I know you can make the decisions, and she knows that
don't
I
have to
know what
stress
she
it.
expects.
Vice versa, yeah.
If you can't trust, you need to trust your business partner 100% to, or I could do this podcast and she could not be here, or vice versa, and we're going to say the same thing.
Yeah, we know we're on each other's page, but for
You have to know that person really well.
Most of the time, we really do agree on everything. We actually do, but a little thing like we've got billboards going up all over Melbourne, and there's this shot that I absolutely love. And
Bridget's more visual. I'm a bit more analytical.
Yeah.
she doesn't
So,
like
a little
this
bit.
shot.
I want
Anyway,
informative information. Bridget wants something pretty.
Anyway, so yesterday she's like, have the billboard, do the billboard. She's like, that's it. So
She's like my wife. I'm
Yeah.
like, happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Happy Bridget, happy life.
she's like, I've had enough, and I'm like, so when we don't get along, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, you like this photo, I like that photo. Let's just choose something that we both like and scrap both of our photos. And she's like, you know what? Have your photo. Have your photo. So my photo's going up all around Chadstone, everybody. It's a beautiful shot.
I can't wait to see it. Can we please get this photo? Send me the photo and send me that thing of Kim Kardashian as well. And I want to plug it up. So
sure.
people can see. That is crazy.
Definitely.
Some advice for me. How do you juggle 4 businesses? Like, how much time is going into everything? Obviously, COVID would have stopped a few things, slowed down a few things, fast forwarded a few things, and you kind of fit in. But in general, your lives are chaos.
Yeah. So we travelled, how many countries did we go to?
11?
11 in 2019.
Yeah, 2019.
So that was, and we travel a lot for work, so it's actually been a way to slow down. My biggest rule to juggling everything, I wake up every morning, go through my emails, make a list. Then you prioritise what's urgent, and because we've got so many businesses, and I'll be like, okay, so the photos for the billboards is a deadline tomorrow. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we just prioritise things, and we also know
list, write every single thing down. And I mean, I'll be in the car, hey Siri, it's going to do it now.
Yeah.
Hey Siri, remind me to call Christian back to organise the PR kit for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that is literally reminders, and use things like that. Use Siri, make your life easier.
But we're also very we always want to keep something happening when you have a business. You can't, so now we've done this, we're on to the next. So it's prioritise, Bianca and Bridgett, our summer collection. So it's just on to the next for both businesses. So now we're talking about doing collabs with people for BoobyTape to do something else exciting. And so that's the next thing. And for Bianca and Bridgett, it's organising our summer launch. So it's just always the next thing and prioritising.
Spring racing. And then we're always thinking of photo shoots and trying to be creative.
We're just always on to the next. That's our jobs. On to the next with PR, marketing, product
It's hard
development.
to switch off. My brain doesn't.
I was just about to say that.
She's really
I'm on 24/7.
She doesn't sometimes we'll just be sitting there watching a movie and she's like, and what about this? I'm like, no, nothing. Don't bring it up.
I'm not allowed to speak sometimes, Christian. It really is a marriage, isn't it?
No, because and we talk a lot and we'll talk, and I'm happy to talk 90% of the time, but sometimes when I'm just watching a movie, I'm like, I don't want to hear.
That's why I call my dad, because my dad always listens to me.
She'll walk off and call dad, and I'm like, go. I'm like, go.
Go there, just leave me alone, close the door.
Just for a minute though. Or this morning, because we lived together until this weekend, we're actually moving out. But
I was in tears. I went to PT this morning. I was literally in the car crying. Something bad happened business-wise, overseas. And I'm like, stop crying. You're a little bitch. I'm like, get up, go to the gym. You need to lose weight. And I walked in, the trainer's like, hi. I'm like, hi, let's train. But I was hysterical 5 minutes before. And people don't realise this.
Don't realise.
And he's like, you're a bit quiet today. I feel like saying, don't talk to me because I'm going to cry
I'm
again.
going to snap your neck.
Yeah. And even my cousin called me this morning. She's like, I was talking to her and she's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. She's like, because we were catching up for whatever for this another business thing, and she goes, we don't have to catch up. I'm like, no, it's fine. And I'm like, Bridgett, just try and act normal. And I'm like, no, seriously, it's fine.
Then I called my dad this morning with this thing, and he goes to me, he speaks to me like a man. He goes, are you gonna cry with every little thing that happens in your bed? I'm like, I'm gonna hang up on you now. I'm like, enough. And he rings me back 3 hours later. He goes, have you calmed down and stopped crying? And I'm like,
yeah.
And then you walked in the house from gym and I was sitting on the couch. I'm like, I have anxiety. And she's like...
And then I'm like, you're making me anxious now. Stop.
Yeah. It all has a million emotions in a day, but it's all worth it. And honestly,
just a day in the life of Bianca and Bridgett. It's never dull.
You should start a vlog, I'm telling you.
I wouldn't take it back for anything though. Everything we go through, it's honestly, it's great. We've been through a lot together.
We've been through a lot, and we're
It's all a part of the journey. It's good.
Yeah.
But then, even in regards to how do you even deal with that? So you've had a million emotions in the day. Most 95% of people would have just dealt with something, they've woken up and that's it. The day's done. They've thrown everything in. They've lost their mind.
Today's the day you can have booby tape if you want. Done.
No, but that's what I said. I'm like, so easily it can take over. I'm like, listen, we had our moment 100%. This morning because we were like, do we cancel the podcast? And I'm like, no, we're going to this podcast. We're continuing our day. We're continuing with our work, and that's it. And
because we love podcasts and we give, as you can see, we give. And I just wanted to give you the energy that we usually do. And I don't know, somehow I've switched off and it's fine. But
you've disconnected from
this.
This
but it's been good because it's made me actually really just. I get more motivated when we do this, and I'm like,
it's true.
Yeah, so it's actually been really good.
But even just how, like, is there something just, I don't know, do you say something to yourself, or is it
You
just...
just have to be strong. Just have to. There's just you can't let any you can't. We've been told no so many times. We've been rejected. People have been mean or whatever. And if you let all that, you'll never get anywhere. You have to just.
We're
put it
not scared
aside.
of rejection.
No.
You can't be.
No, you just got to
I
keep
put some
going.
questions up on my Instagram. I said, "Oh, we're doing a podcast today. What do people want to see?" And someone said, "Oh, do you get made fun of because you have a business?" And I was gonna say, well, no, we don't directly, but I'm sure people when we
first started,
a really good family friend of ours, from the country, and she goes, can you quit your job? Can you even afford? I said, we have 7 staff.
Yeah.
I go, yeah,
and that was at the start.
but people don't, they don't know the extent or the scale of
But
that was at the
people
start.
People do make fun of you or whatever. You can't let it get to you. You just got to keep going. And why should I let them stop me with my business? You just got to keep going.
You said the questions. Is there any cool questions?
Let's have a look.
Yeah, you should have sent them. I didn't even know.
I just did it.
Yeah.
I thought, let's have a look.
Was there any cool questions?
Let's have a look. So,
How long have we been running?
That's how long we've been talking.
Oh, wow.
Jesus,
Shit's flying.
I thought it was
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Man, it's bloody flying.
I'll just read a few
Yeah,
out
any
to you.
cool
So it
ones.
says, how did you find your manufacturers and how do you know who is legitimate? Another one, how do you find manufacturers? How you
Anything good,
started?
juicy?
And is it really important for a small business? Your digital marketing strategy? Or someone goes, how many hours a week would you girls work on average?
Non-stop.
Well,
Me 20, Bianca 24.
look, it's a lot. But when you say working, there is a different conception of work. Am I sitting at a desk? No. But am I sitting here thinking, strategizing, so I don't solve a problem? Constantly. But if you email me, because I do all the emails, any time of the day, it's like a text message, you get a response. If I'm awake, you get a response.
Even we drove over
Even when
here.
you're sleeping, you're still just...
Yeah, she
Literally.
Even when we drove over here separately,
Yeah.
and it was a 30-minute drive, we were on the phone the entire time,
Yeah.
talking about what we're doing, what we're doing for BoobyTape next, the whole time, the whole 30-minute drive.
Yeah, we make the most of every kind of second. But there's a lot of questions,
But
the struggles you went
fun.
through. I think we've spoken
Anything,
about a lot about that.
Anything, just one that stands out,
Hiring
or we've
a
pretty much covered
team,
everything.
dealing with competitors, that's probably a good one. So we've kind of touched on this, dealing with competitors. We are so focused on what we're doing, and we think any business, you should not worry about competitors. Of course, you need to notice what they're doing and take note, but you just invest into your company and worry about yourself and say the Kim Kardashian boo. There's enough room for everyone. That's fine. Whoever, it's may the best person win. We wish everyone every success. You can't worry about others. You need to have your own path.
If you just keep looking left
goal.
and right, you're going to get so distracted, and you're not going to be worrying about your business. It's just so you've just got to focus on you.
Yeah.
And what's the best advice you've ever been given?
It's a good question. I don't think I've. What's the best
Well, my best advice, I haven't been given it, but that I would give to someone is, look, when I say this, it can be misconstrued the wrong way, but invest money into your business. That's not saying, it has to be strategic. It has to be, don't go do $1 million
I think
straight
our parents
away.
have given that to us, even with property, our factories, for example, that we have.
Actually, that's,
we've been given, that's advice from our parents, how we've been brought up. When we started at home, then we went to move out to a factory and we were going to rent, and our parents were like, no, you buy. So we've bought our factories, you know.
So we bought
it's
2 factories within a year? Yeah.
Good on
Yes.
you, industrial's flying.
Yeah. So
Well, you know what, Christian? I rang up Dad, I go, we need to pay probably 70 grand a year in rent. Would it not make sense paying off my mortgage?
Yeah.
And he goes, absolutely.
Yeah.
He goes, you girls just got to save a deposit. I go, cool. Well, we'll do it. So it's all about leveraging and trying to build your assets whilst you're building a business, not just these young entrepreneurs we see making money, buying new cars, doing that. That's great. But you've got to be setting yourself up with assets.
100%.
And why would you be paying rent for something if you don't have to?
I think you just got to make yourself fat. The more you feed just the business and your asset class, then it just grows over time. Especially you purchasing industrial factories. That's gone nuts the last.
With the online e-commerce world,
exploded.
Commercial's gone a bit, and industrial.
So the retail obviously. Retail's obviously struggling. Residential property, it's booming, but not like industrial. So well done.
Well, everyone's getting needs factories. And
I think too, back to the advice thing. If you are not a born hustler, it's not going to happen for you. Like, I'm being like quite honest, taking a Bianca stab here. If you are not a born hustler, if you don't want it, like that's one thing my parents always said to us. They're like you can have it if you want it, you will get it. Like, you know, if
parents tell your children that, tell your children. We had our parents told us we could do anything, and the sky was the limit. Not that you are going to do this job and that is all you're capable of, and don't you dare dream. Some people tell their kids that.
I wasn't good at school. I didn't do well at school. I didn't get good marks. And I remember I would be like crying to my parents. I'd be like, that, to me, I thought, I'm never going to achieve anything because I'm not good at school. And my parents, as my dad was like, you will achieve whatever you want to achieve. He's like, you know, don't ever say that you can't do anything. You can do anything you want. And I think that's such a strong thing.
That's actually insane.
Force Bridgett to finish year 12.
I didn't want to.
Do you know, Christian, we were moving house not long ago, and we were going through, you know, your filing cabinets, and I pull out this letter from Bridget's principal. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Roccisano, Bridgett has missed 56 days of year 12. I was a nerd. I think I missed one day of school. And I'm like, 56 days? How'd you not fail?
I'd be like, I'm going to the bathroom, miss.
Straight out.
By God.
Straight phantom.
I didn't like school. I didn't fit in at school. I had a horrible school experience. And I thought, like, and I want young kids to know that too. Just if you don't do well at school, that doesn't mean that you can't do anything, you know? You can do anything that you want. And that's such advice. Anything you want, you're born hustler. It needs to be in you. You want it, go get it.
And when I have children, like, I have this fantasy that I'm going to have children, and by the time they're like 13, they're going to have their own e-com business. And not like,
it's literally going to happen, 100%.
A different way of life. It's like I went to school and I had the WOG parents, like, going to be a lawyer and you're going to do this and that. Okay, like, that's great, and I totally respect all the lawyers out there, but there is another way of life. And for people like Bridgett who struggled at school, you don't have to be a lawyer to like achieve well. You don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to be an accountant.
You can just make a product.
That's right.
And
exactly.
A life-changing product.
And you want something. And just if you want something, you'll get it. You just
definitely.
have to want
I think, even New South Wales, I was reading, they've just introduced, like, entrepreneurship and, like, website building classes and real estate classes.
Finally.
And they should have, like, taxes.
Yeah.
Subjects, like, we need subjects that kids actually need.
Life skills, like life skill classes. And when I saw that, I was like, that is actually insane. So
it's only taken 2020.
Pretty much, it's coming. Slowly, it's coming. Pretty much, just to wrap this up, the final question, like, what are some future goals? How does 12 months, 5 years, 10 years look? And where do we want to go? What do we want to achieve? How big do we want to get this?
There's no limits, Christian. You know us by now. We want to see BoobyTape stocked in every single store you walk into in every country. So we want to be in every major globally. And we've got, because we are a global business, it's like that work is endless. We're doing really well in Australia. We've got some exciting big things happening here, which we can't announce yet, but we want to be doing the same in America, in Italy, in Germany, Switzerland, Turkey, Africa, like everywhere.
How hard is it? Here's another question. Sorry. No. How hard is it to break into America in comparison to, for example, Australia? Because America is just
hard.
a whole nother beast.
It is hard.
It's so hard.
Listen, online, like wise sales and stuff, it's great. Like, it's great from day one. They've been it's like on par. Australia, America, Canada. It's all gone.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're already starting to. Okay, so you're really starting to make some waves already there.
Yeah, and that's why we did the party too. So it's just like making some noise.
And then, so London, was that to break in?
So London, we did like a distribution deal. So we've done some huge deals, like in the UK as well. With we've done 3 of the majors, like over in the UK. So that's like really exciting.
Crazy.
So we're just trying to do that now in every other country.
Congratulations, honestly, like that's mental. Thank you so much for jumping on.
Thank you for having us. It's an honour to be here.
Yeah, it was. As I said, when I saw
Hope we kept you entertained.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. I learned so much as well. And, you know, it's funny because I'm a guy that I didn't even know how to rub moisturizer on me. And when I just saw this was amazing. This broke my attention. So
see, that got your. That's great. That's the whole point of it.
It goes to show, like, you guys are really breaking through, and I wish you the best of luck with everything.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.